Hey everybody, my name is Dan Clark and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel, Life After Religion, and I hope you come back. I've got about 80 videos out there, and some of them are over 15 years old, and you can do a lot of research on my site and take a look at some of the old publications, the Paradise book, the Revelation book. I talk about them in detail because I lived them. I was a Jehovah's Witness for 40 years, and I explain all the prophecies that I leaned into and that bypassed, and I talk about why I left. Like I said, there's 80 videos. So please go to my page, my YouTube page. You might be on it right now, and hit the subscribe button. And you can also hit the little bell, and you'll get my notifications when I come on, because I'm going to be coming on doing a lot more live videos. And the one I want to talk about tonight is disfellowshipping. Why I absolutely 100% believe that when you do something wrong in the Jehovah's Witnesses, they never want you back. I'm going to say that again. When you do something wrong in the Jehovah's Witnesses and they have to disfellowship you, they never want you back. I don't believe they want you back. I saw my wife go through disfellowshipping. Not actually disfellowshipping. They were going to disfellowship her, but she decided, no, you're not going to disfellowship me. I'm going to leave. But the same treatment was done to her that is done to people who are disfellowshipped. Now, one thing I want to say about disfellowshipping is I believe there's a time for it, for disfellowshipping. I believe if you have an organization, and it doesn't matter the organization, if there's a workplace, if you're a guy in a work and you're starting fights with everybody, they give you 3 days off or they give you some kind of detention. And that needs to be, because you have to keep order within an organization. And so the part about, removing somebody, not even eating with such a man, if somebody's become baptized and all that stuff, I understand that stuff. I understand. Some guy's trying to pick up all the girls in the Kingdom Hall, something like that, and he won't stop, and you say, hey, you got to stop. I understand that. The part I don't understand is when the person tries to come back, when a person's heart is broken and he says, wow, I was really a jerk. I think I'm going to talk to the elders. My God, what happens at that point? Well, here's what needs to happen. Picture your kid climbing up on the couch, okay? And he falls off. You say, get down from there, get down from there, get down from there. And he doesn't get down from there. So he falls off. Well, he scares you, right? And you maybe get mad. But when he's over there bawling and crying, what does he need? He needs some comfort. He needs you to go over and pick him up, hold him in your arms, and say, I told you that was going to hurt. And I'm so sorry that you had to do that. But you would comfort him. That does not happen in the Kingdom Hall. This is a man-made discipline, this idea when you come back that you have to sit in the back of the hall for a year to 5 years. This is man-made. This is not. I'm going to reason with you from the scriptures. I'm not going to take a lot of time. But the part of it where you come back, have you ever seen somebody get disfellowshipped and they're out in the parking lot and they're so lonesome and they're so empty and they're so broken and they're walking out to their car real slow, and you go over and say, hey brother, I love you, man, looking forward to you coming back. And the elders come in and knock heck out of you. Don't you talk to that brother. He's disfellowship. He's not ready to be, well, he looks pretty broken to me. And so I've been disciplined before for talking to disfellowship people outside in the parking lot, sitting in their car crying. I went out there and put my arm around them. Well, what I realized now that I've been away, I've been away a long time. I've been away over 20 years. And, I look back and I think the person, think about this. A person's most vulnerable when he's wanting to say, I'm sorry. Picture a guy that is wanting to make up with his girlfriend. So he sits there to himself, God, she's never going to take me back. God, I made such a big mistake. Oh my God. And he finally gets up the courage. He finally says, I'm going back. I'm going back to see my girlfriend, and I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to throw my hat in there, and I'm going to tell her I'm sorry, and I'm going to cry. I'm going to put my hands on her. And the girl says, get out of here. Get out of here, you no good. Well, what that does is that crushes you. It crushes you. You say, I'm done with you. I came in with an open heart, and you ripped it out of me. You shredded it. Well, that's what happens to people that come back to Jehovah's Witnesses. They go out, they do the dirty deed, they sleep with somebody, they do something, they get a boyfriend in the world, and then they realize they've come to their senses, right? They've come to their senses, and they come back to the organization. And what happens to them? What happens to them? We hear you, but we need you to do works that befit repentance. You need to come back to the hall and sit in the back of the hall and come in after the meeting starts and leave right before the meeting's over, and you will have no association with anybody during that time. This is harsh. Your heart's broken, and you're treated like a dog. You're put in the back of the hall for a year to 5 years. Some people, the minimum, usually the average is about 2, but 2 years, 2 years. I mean, when your kid does something wrong, you put him in the corner for 5 minutes. You say, you're going to have to go in timeout. But I mean, can you imagine? Well, I'll tell you why they do it. They don't want you back. That would break anybody. How many people come back? Not that many. There's very few people that can endure that type of shame. People watching you come in. Oh, there he is. There's the guy. There's the guy that did the dirty thing. He never gets to live it down. He never gets to live it down. He comes back in that hall, and here's why they do it, for 2 reasons. One, they don't want that person back. That person pissed them off. They can tell me all day, oh, we want that person back. I've seen what happens to disfellowship people. You are cut off. Your family's cut off. You're told never to associate with them again, ever. Do not talk to that person. Stay away from that person. They cut you off. I've seen it with my wife, my ex-wife now. She'd go outside and the witnesses would run in. We'd go in the store and they'd turn their head the other way. And I thought, my God, they don't want her back. They want her punished severely, emotionally, mentally punished. Now think about this. If she did come back, she would continue to be persecuted. Think about this. She would have to sit in the back of the hall, sneak in after the music started, come in, hear the prayer, sit there with her head down like this, having every kid look back at her. There she is. There's the freak. Sitting in quarantine. Think about this, guys. Sitting in quarantine in the back of the hall for a year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5, till they decide, till they're satisfied, till men is satisfied. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not in harmony with the Bible. Yes, remove the wicked guy from you. If he's disturbing the congregation, any congregation, work, whatever, if he's a hazard to your company, you got to put him out. But if he says, I'm sorry, and he's broken, you need to receive him back. And I'm going to give you one example. You've all heard of the prodigal son. The prodigal son, one of the sons said, I'm going to go do my own darn thing. I'm going out. I want to live the way I want to live. Give me my inheritance, Dad, which was his life, by the way. And so his dad says, here's your portion. Here's your life. Go live it. Go do it. Well, the kid goes out. You've heard the stories, squandered the money, loose living, riotous living, women, whatever. I mean, he had a good time. And then he ended up, they said, eating with the pigs. Well, in that place, in that low place, he came back to his senses. He said, God, man, if I was just home, I would have a wonderful meal. My brother would be there. I would have family. I would have a roof over my head. I would have everything if I just went back home. So he makes his way back home. Rags on him, just poor. Like I said, he was in with the pigs. They wouldn't give him nothing to eat. And anyway, he makes it back home. And what does his father do? His father runs to him. Now, think about this. Think about this. Think about those disfellowship people that come back. Are any elders running to them? Are any elders just chasing out to say, oh my God, come here. You were lost. You were found. Oh my God, let me get you some clothes. Let me go get you some suit clothes and a tie. I love you. I love you. Oh, thank God. No. You're a dirty rag. And you're to sit in the back of the hall for a year to 5 years, quarantined. See, it's not in harmony with the Bible. The Father says you were lost, now you were found, you've come to your senses. But these men want proof. These men want to be begged. These men want to be served. And the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses have set it up that way. Punishment, punishment, punishment. So what if you get a hair up your butt and you get pissed off at an elder and you tell him where to go and you say, I'm done with you. I met this girl and she's a good girl in my school and I want to date her. And you go out and date her and they say, you're done. You've disrespected us elders and you've disrespected Jehovah and you're out of here. Okay, so you both had your moment. You're both angry. The guy's angry. The elder's angry. The guy goes out, something happens. They break up. He says, my God, I've yelled at the elders. And, well, that elder hasn't forgiven him. That elder has not forgiven him. That elder's just waiting for him. You get back in here. You'll never talk to me that way again. Because he wouldn't have the heart to put him in a 2, 3, 4, 5 years quarantine. If he had a heart. Honest to God, there's no heart in this. You got to have a heart. When somebody's crying, you put your arms around and embrace them. You hold them. You tell them everything's going to be okay. Look at these crazy videos the witnesses are putting out about a boy that gets in trouble or a girl that gets in trouble. And she calls home. She's like, I just want to hear my mom tell me I love me. She calls home. And the mother looks at the phone, and then she remembers the assembly. Do not do anything the elders or the governing body has not told you to do. This is for their benefit. Leave them be. Well, what if that person is at death's doors? What if that person, just because she didn't hear her mother, heard the voice of rejection because there was no voice? What do you think a teenager will do at that point? Well, they're capable of doing anything. And sometimes it's suicide because of this man-made garbage. Kids are human. Teenagers are human. Yeah, they're going through the terrible twos again at teenage life. They know everything. They're a little bit, radical. We should expect that. We should just expect that. They're gonna try to do it on their own. They're gonna try to figure it out. They've got the answers. They're gonna go out and date that worldly girl. They're gonna push the boundaries of their what do you call it? The restrictions put on them, the limitations. They're going to push up against them. They're trying to become their own person. It's called adolescence. But they don't understand that. Authoritarian is you disobeyed me. Authoritarian operate like that. You disobeyed me. And you're punished. So I just think most people can't endure it. I couldn't endure it. I couldn't endure sitting in the back of the hall for years. My heart would be broke. And nobody looks at you. You meet the elders that people say they write these letters to the elders, and the elders say, absolutely not. We noticed a few weeks ago that you missed a meeting, and we've got that in our records. We need you to do another 6 months to satisfy us and satisfy the congregation and satisfy Jehovah. And then there's some sisters and brothers that have told me they've sat in a hall for a year, and the elder said, I never saw you. Can you imagine that? And that person never came back because that's rejection. I believe the governing body don't want you back, or they wouldn't have the harshest, severest restrictions. If you leave or talk to a person who left or whatever, when you disobey, man, it is cruel, cruel, cruel. So anyway, I just want to tell you guys, if you know anybody disfellowship, put your arm around them, tell them you love them. They've probably never heard that. There's not a lot of love in the organization. There really isn't. There's not any natural love. There's not any real love, because love reaches across the boundaries of man-made boundaries. Love reaches across there. Love says, no, I'm going to go give him a hug anyway, because my heart says so. My heart is going to go pie this man-made head knowledge doctrine that says stay away. My heart says no, he needs a hug. I'm going to follow my heart, and I'm going to go give him a hug before he does something, before he feels abandoned. So many witnesses feel abandoned. They don't want you back. You've proven unfaithful. I'm telling you, there's not a lot of people that can sit in the back of a hall for a year to 3 years, 5 years and beg and write letters. It just isn't so. So anyway, I just wanted to put this out there for you today, guys. I'm going to have more like it. I'm going to be talking about adolescence on my next video, masturbation, sex addiction, what they call sex addiction. I'm going to spell it all out. I'm going to say it like it is. So tune in for my next video. It's going to be really good. And I'm going to have another one about Jehovah's Witnesses and consciousness. What is consciousness? And that sort of thing, to help you broaden out a little bit from what is religion, what is mind, and what is heart, and how to get to the heart. That's going to be another video. But I'm going to have them coming one after another to serve you. But I just wanted to reason with you on that prodigal son. There was no wait. There was no quarantine. There was actually a party. And do you know, years ago, when a person returned to the hall, we used to clap. The whole congregation just says, "Oh my God, amen." And everybody would get in line to hug you. Do you know they canceled that out? They said no more, because where he was supposed to be was here, and he left. And so this is harsh, cruel, authoritarian dictatorship governing body. Oh, just ancient old wisdom. You know, it's not wisdom at all. It's man-made control. And so they want obedience. And when you break that, you know, that's what happens. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And I'm going to have a bunch of them. So remember, like my page, like it, subscribe to my page, and hit the little bell, and you'll get my notifications when they'll come out. They're going to be videos just like this. And I'm going to reason with you on these things so you can reason and come out of some of this mind control that the witnesses have had you in, those people who have left and they still feel bad because they were disfellowshipped. Give them this video. Pass this video on so they can hear the truth. God is love. God is ready to forgive. God is ready to embrace you and put you in your arms. He's not ready to throw you away. He doesn't punish you for years. For years? This is man. That's man. Just remember the prodigal son. Braced him, put a coat around him, covered his shame, and put on a big warm meal, gave him the ring, and says, "Everything I have is yours again, son, because you returned home." That is the God I know. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's Dan Clark with Life After Religion. Check out my page and enjoy the videos. There's a lot of them that have a lot of content, a ton of content for you. And I hope you enjoy them, and I hope they set you free. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.